India was the 10th largest economy in the world. Today, India is the 5th largest economy.
India remains the fastest growing major economy in the world. The GDP.
India's rise in the global economy is nothing short of remarkable. A nation once ranked 10th has swiftly moved up to become the 5th largest economy in the world. But this growth, impressive as it is, brings with it significant challenges, particularly when it comes to energy. At the core of this issue lies a daunting problem: India's dependence on oil.
India's crude oil imports rose to a monthly record in January after reports in.
This isn't just a minor inconvenience. India's oil dependency is a pressing issue that could derail the country's economic ambitions. Imagine the amount of money India spends every year on oil imports. Every fluctuation in oil prices leaves the country vulnerable to external shocks, putting immense pressure on its economy. And let's not forget the environmental cost of relying on fossil fuels in a world that's rapidly moving towards sustainability. So how can India hope to break free from this dependency? The answer lies in renewable energy. Clean, sustainable, and reliable renewable energy sources like solar power are critical to India's future. In fact, solar energy has become a cornerstone of India's energy policy in recent years, with the government rolling out ambitious plans to harness the power of the sun. But there's a catch, a massive catch, and that catch is China. The problem: China's solar dominance. China's grip on the global solar market is staggering. To understand just how dominant China is in this space, we need to break down the solar value chain. Solar panels aren't just produced in a single step. They go through multiple stages, starting with raw polysilicon, which is then processed into ingots, wafers, and finally solar cells. Every one of these stages is critical, and China controls more than 80% of the entire value chain. Let that sink in for a moment. In a world that's increasingly relying on solar energy, one country holds the reins. In 2023, China produced 83% of the world's polysilicon, the essential raw material for making solar panels. By comparison, India produced a meager 60,000 tons of polysilicon, while China churned out 6.6 million tons. But China's dominance doesn't stop with polysilicon. They also lead in the production of ingots, wafers, and solar cells, making them the undeniable superpower in the solar industry. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Research conducted by the European Commission found that Chinese companies could produce solar panels for as little as 16 to 18.9 cents per watt. To put that into perspective, European manufacturers are producing solar panels at a cost of 24.3 to 30 cents per watt, and in the United States, the figure stands at around 28 cents per watt. What this means is that Chinese solar panels are around 50% cheaper than those made in Europe and 65% cheaper than those made in the US. The result: the global market is flooded with affordable Chinese solar panels, leaving countries like India with little choice but to import them. In 2021, India imported 100% of its solar wafers from China. Yes, you heard that right, 100%. This level of dependency is dangerous. Not only does it leave India vulnerable to fluctuations in Chinese production and pricing, but it also hinders the country's ability to become truly energy independent. If India is serious about breaking free from its oil dependency and becoming a leader in renewable energy, it can't afford to rely on Chinese imports for its solar needs. So where does India go from here? That's where Waaree Energies comes into the picture. Introducing Waaree Energies. Waaree Energies is not just another solar company. It's a game changer, founded with a vision to transform India's renewable energy landscape. Waaree has grown into one of the largest solar panel manufacturers in the country. But it's not just their size that sets them apart. It's their ambition and their ability to execute that ambition. In recent years, while other Indian solar companies have struggled to keep pace with the market, Waaree Energies has been surging ahead. Take a look at the numbers. Adani's Mundra Solar saw its revenue shrink by 12% in FY23, and Vikram Solar reported a 7% decline. Tata Power, another major player, saw a 19% drop, and yet, in the same period, Waaree Energies posted a 136% increase in revenue. And if that wasn't impressive enough, the company's net profit jumped by a staggering 538%. These aren't just numbers. They're a testament to Waaree's leadership in the Indian solar industry. But what's truly remarkable about Waaree is its potential to break China's stranglehold on the global solar market. While other Indian companies are trying to compete with Chinese manufacturers, Waaree is positioning itself to outpace them. This isn't just about catching up, it's about redefining the rules of the game. Waaree's strategy revolves around 4 key pillars: manufacturing capacity, supply chain security, distribution network, and technology. Let's dive into each one. Waaree's business strategy 1. Manufacturing capacity. In the solar industry, scale is everything. The more solar panels you can produce, the lower your cost per unit, and the more competitive you become in the market. Waaree Energies understood this from the very beginning. The company has made significant investments in increasing its manufacturing capacity, and today it boasts a production capacity of 13.3 gigawatts GJO. To put that in perspective, Adani's Mundra Solar has a capacity of 4 GJO, and Vikram Solar stands at 3.5 GJO. Waaree's capacity is nearly 3 times that of Adani's. But why does scale matter so much? It's simple. As Waaree's production capacity increases, the cost of producing each solar panel decreases. This allows Waaree to compete with Chinese manufacturers, who have long benefited from economies of scale. And with global demand for solar panels skyrocketing, Waaree is in the perfect position to capitalize on this growth. What makes Waaree's approach to manufacturing even more impressive is its focus on efficiency. The company isn't just interested in producing more solar panels. It's also committed to producing them more efficiently. Waaree's state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities are designed to minimize waste and maximize output, ensuring that the company remains competitive not just in terms of scale, but also in terms of cost and quality. 2. Supply chain security. China's dominance in the solar industry isn't just about cheap labor and low production costs. It's about control. China has built an ecosystem that allows it to control the entire solar value chain, from raw materials to finished products. And for years, Indian companies have been forced to rely on Chinese imports to meet their production needs. But Waaree is changing that. Waaree Energies is taking bold steps to reduce its dependence on Chinese imports by vertically integrating its supply chain. This means that Waaree is working toward producing everything it needs from polysilicon to wafers to solar cells right here in India. This vertical integration is a game changer for the company, as it allows Waaree to gain greater control over its production process, reduce its vulnerability to price fluctuations, and make itself less reliant on foreign suppliers. But why is supply chain security so important? One word: dumping. China has a well-known strategy called dumping, where they flood a market with cheap products, driving local competitors out of business. Once those competitors are gone, China raises its prices again, effectively monopolizing the market. Waaree's move toward vertical integration will help it avoid falling victim to this predatory pricing strategy. By producing its own raw materials, Waaree is building a foundation of supply chain security that will allow it to compete with Chinese companies on equal footing. This is crucial not just for Waaree's success, but for India's broader renewable energy goals. If India wants to become a leader in solar energy, it can't afford to rely on China for critical components. 3. Distribution network. Manufacturing capacity and supply chain security are critical, but they're only part of the equation. To truly succeed, Waaree needs to get its products into the hands of consumers. And that's where its distribution network comes in. Waaree has built one of the most extensive distribution networks in India's solar industry, using a franchise model to scale rapidly. Today, the company has 388 franchises spread across the country, allowing it to reach even the most remote corners of India. Whether you're in a bustling city like Mumbai or a rural village in the heartland, Waaree's solar products are accessible. This distribution network is a key differentiator for Waaree, as it enables the company to penetrate markets that other solar companies might overlook. It's not just about reaching more customers. It's about building relationships with local communities, educating people about the benefits of solar power, and creating a loyal customer base that will continue to grow as India's demand for renewable energy increases. 4. Technology. Technology is the final pillar of Waaree's strategy, and it's perhaps the most important. Waaree isn't just competing with Chinese manufacturers on price, it's competing with them on innovation. The company's solar panels are some of the most advanced in the country, featuring cutting-edge technology that allows them to be installed on a wide variety of surfaces, even those that other panels can't handle. For instance, Waaree's flexible solar panels can be installed on low load-bearing roofs, dome-shaped structures, and tensile fabric surfaces, areas where traditional solar panels would be difficult or impossible to install. This flexibility gives Waaree a significant advantage not only in India, but also in international markets, where the demand for innovative solar solutions is growing. But Waaree isn't stopping there. The company is continuously investing in research and development to stay at the forefront of solar technology. From improving efficiency to reducing costs, Waaree is committed to providing its customers with the best possible solutions for their energy needs. Financial stability. At the heart of any company's success lies its financial health, and Waaree Energies is no exception. While its strategic decisions have put it on the right path, what really makes Waaree a formidable player in the solar industry is its rock-solid financial foundation. Let's talk about interest coverage ratios for a moment. This metric is a crucial indicator of a company's ability to meet its interest obligations from its earnings before interest and tax, EBIT. In simple terms, it tells us how easily a company can pay off its interest expenses. The higher the ratio, the better the company's financial position. In the solar industry, Adani's Mundra Solar has an interest coverage ratio of 4.5, which is considered solid. Vikram Solar, on the other hand, has a ratio of 1.8, which is more modest but still acceptable. And Waaree? It boasts an interest coverage ratio of 11. This means that Waaree is in an incredibly strong position to not only pay its interest expenses, but also expand its operations and take on new projects without putting its financial health at risk. So what's driving Waaree's financial success? A big part of it is its focus on exports. While many Indian solar companies rely primarily on the domestic market, Waaree has taken a more global approach. Today, over 68% of Waaree's sales come from exports, with the United States being its largest market. In fact, 96% of Waaree's exports are to the US. This global focus is no accident. It's part of a larger trend known as the China Plus One strategy. Many countries, particularly in the West, are looking to reduce their reliance on Chinese imports. And India, with its growing manufacturing capabilities, has emerged as a key alternative. Waaree is a major beneficiary of this trend, with its order books filled to the brim. Between 2021 and 2023, Waaree's orders jumped from 0.41 GO to 18.06 GO, a 438% increase. With such strong financials, Waaree is well positioned to capitalize on the growing demand for solar energy, both in India and abroad. But like any company, it faces challenges. Challenges ahead. Despite Waaree's incredible success, the road ahead won't be without obstacles. One of the biggest challenges the company faces is the global decrease in the price of solar panels. Over the past decade, the cost of solar panels has plummeted by 95%, dropping from $1.78 per watt in 2010 to just $0.96 per watt in 2024. While this is great news for consumers, it creates significant pressure on manufacturers like Waaree to maintain profitability in an increasingly competitive market. Then there's the issue of Chinese dumping. As Waaree continues to grow and establish itself as a serious competitor, it's likely that Chinese manufacturers will take notice and respond. China has a well-established strategy of flooding markets with cheap products to drive out competitors. Once those competitors are out of business, China raises its prices again, effectively monopolizing the market. Waaree will need to be vigilant and prepared to face this challenge head-on. Another challenge is Waaree's continued reliance on Chinese imports for raw materials. Despite its efforts to vertically integrate its supply chain, Waaree still sources around 70% of its raw materials from China. This leaves the company vulnerable to supply chain disruptions and price fluctuations. If China decides to target Waaree specifically, it could cut off this supply, making it difficult for the company to continue producing solar panels at scale. Government support for the Indian solar industry. Waaree isn't fighting these battles alone. The Indian government has taken several steps to support the domestic solar industry and reduce the country's reliance on Chinese imports. One of the key initiatives is the Domestic Content Requirement (DCR) mandate, which requires companies that receive government subsidies for solar projects to use Indian-made solar components. This helps create demand for locally produced solar products and reduces the country's dependency on imports. Additionally, the government has introduced performance-linked incentive (PLI) schemes, which provide financial incentives to companies that meet certain performance benchmarks. These incentives are designed to encourage domestic production and help Indian companies like Waaree compete with their Chinese counterparts. To protect the domestic market, the government has also imposed a 40% import duty on Chinese solar modules and a 25% duty on solar cells. This makes it more expensive for Indian companies to import Chinese products, giving local manufacturers a better chance to compete. Finally, the government is working to create demand for solar products through subsidies for Indian households. For example, the government is offering a subsidy of Rs 78,000 on solar panels that cost Rs 1.8 lakh, making it more affordable for households to switch to solar power. Waaree Energies' rise is a testament to what's possible when ambition meets execution. But more than that, it's a glimpse into India's potential to break free from its energy dependency and become a global leader in renewable energy. As the world races to adopt sustainable energy solutions, companies like Waaree will play a critical role in shaping the future of not just India, but the entire planet. The first lesson from Waaree's story is the importance of independence. A country's strength doesn't lie in its ambitions, but in its ability to achieve those ambitions on its own terms. While China raced ahead in the solar industry, India is still catching up. But with companies like Waaree leading the charge, the gap is closing. The second lesson is the importance of timing. China invested in solar energy as early as 2008, while India only started pursuing its renewable energy goals after 2014. If India wants to become a true superpower, it needs to act swiftly and decisively to build leverage in industries like solar energy and electric vehicles. Finally, the role of government cannot be understated. Government policies, subsidies, and incentives have been instrumental in helping companies like Waaree thrive. As India continues its journey toward energy independence, it will be the companies that align themselves with government goals that stand to benefit the most. Waaree Energies may just be India's secret weapon in the battle against China's solar dominance. With its strategic focus on manufacturing capacity, supply chain security, distribution, and innovation, Waaree is well positioned to lead India into a future of clean, renewable energy. The road ahead won't be easy, but if Waaree continues on its current path, it could very well become the Brahmastra of India's solar dream.